Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we dive into the corporate filings so you don't have to. Today we're dissecting a document from CION's Diversified Credit Fund, and trust me, there's more to it than meets the eye. It involves debt, interest rates, and a whole lot of financial maneuvering and some dates changing around. Not the most thrilling topic, but stick with me because it affects how this fund makes money, and that affects investors. We are looking at a supplement to their prospectuses, which are basically the sales documents for the fund's different share classes. This supplement tells investors about a change to one of the fund's key credit agreements. In essence, this fund invests in debt and it borrows money to do so, hoping to make a profit on the difference. It's like buying a house with a mortgage and renting it out, only with much more complex financial instruments. By the way, if you find getting straight insights from corporate documents useful, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below, so come join the discussion. The heart of this supplement is an amendment to the Wells credit facility, which is the fund's main line of credit. It allows one of their subsidiaries to borrow up to $1.4 billion. Think of it as a giant credit card they use to buy and sell debt. The amendment does two important things. First, it extends the borrowing timeline. The period where they can actively reinvest the borrowed money is pushed from August of 2027 to May of 2028, and the final maturity date, which is when the debt needs to be paid back, is extended from August of 2029 to May of 2030. This gives them more time to play the market and hopefully generate returns. Second, the interest rate is being lowered. Previously, they were paying an interest rate based on something called SOFR, plus a spread of 2.5%. Now that spread is reduced to 1.90%. SOFR is basically a benchmark interest rate used in financial markets, kind of like the prime rate you might hear about. By lowering the spread, the fund pays less interest on its borrowings, which directly impacts its profitability. The fund also pays a commitment fee, which is a fee on the unused portion of the credit line. This fee ranges from 0.50% to 1.80% depending on how much of the $1.4 billion they aren't using. It's like paying a monthly fee for a gym membership you rarely use. You are paying for the optionality. As of May 30, 2025, the fund had $845 million outstanding under this credit facility. That's a substantial amount of debt. Now, let's put this into perspective. This amendment is a positive development for the fund. By extending the timeline, they have more flexibility in their investment strategy. And by lowering the interest rate, they reduce their borrowing costs, which should boost their returns, all other things being equal. It is important to remember they are still on the hook for $845 for it. However, there are risks to consider. The fund is highly leveraged, meaning it uses a lot of borrowed money. While this can amplify gains, it can also amplify losses. If their investments don't perform as expected, they could struggle to repay the debt, especially when the maturity date comes. Also, the fund's ability to borrow under the Wells credit facility depends on the value of the assets they hold. If those assets decline in value, their borrowing base shrinks and they may have less access to credit. Finally, they are subject to various restrictions and covenants, which are promises they make to the lender. If they violate these covenants, the lender could take action, such as demanding immediate repayment. So what's the bottom line? This credit facility amendment is a tactical move that should benefit the fund in the short term. However, investors need to be aware of the risks associated with leverage and the complexities of investing in debt. It's not as simple as just collecting interest payments. There's a whole lot of financial engineering happening behind the scenes. Assessing the company's direction, I'd say this move indicates a moderately positive outlook. Extending the timeline shows confidence in their ability to generate returns over a longer period, and lowering the interest rate directly improved profitability. However, the high level of debt remains a significant risk, and investors should closely monitor the fund's performance and its compliance with the credit facility covenants. A notable opportunity here is if interest rates stay stable or decline further, the lower the borrowing cost, the more profit the fund can potentially generate. However, a significant risk is if the economy weakens and borrowers start defaulting on their debts, which would negatively impact the fund's investments. In conclusion, this supplement reveals a strategic adjustment to the fund's financing that could enhance returns, but it also underscores the inherent risks of leveraged investing. This filing is for sophisticated investors who understand the intricacies of credit markets. Alright, that's our breakdown of CION's Diversified Credit Fund's latest filing. What's your take on these moves and what they signal for the fund's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching and see you next time.